Morning, everybody. Kevin here from Watch Us with Joe and Kevin, back for the third episode of season 4 of The Sopranos. After every show, I do a quick recap, just like the immediate, like unprocessed what I just kind of watched and what my takeaways were in the moment, which I think is kind of where we all are after we watch a show, which is why I like to do it. And then after about a week, before I watch the next one, I kind of think about what stuck with me over that time and what I couldn't get out of my head. And obviously the big one I feel like for this last episode, despite the fact there's an awful lot going on here, really curious about what Paulie's up to and what Syl are up to and their quiet little beefs with Tony that he doesn't seem to be overly aware of, is Adriana. And what life is going to be like for her moving forward. And, we know what happens with snitches on this show and in this world. I don't feel like if it's a real possibility that Adriana is going to be cooperating with the FBI because she's scared and she is a person of conscience. She's not a bad person at all. And she, kind of breaks down and tells Christopher what's going on and that she has been a cooperator, and I don't feel like that is going to end well for Adriana. I feel like that's the most likely outcome. Just simply because we're in season 4, I don't see Adriana successfully being the catalyst that takes down Christopher or Tony or really anybody else on the show of note. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it working out that way, at least not at this stage of the show. If this was season 6, sure, that would be a real possibility. I was having a discussion with one of the people on Patreon, though, as far as, Christopher's role in all of this. And I do think Christopher is largely to blame for this. We're watching The Wire. And the idea that nobody has talked to Adriana, especially Christopher's not talked to her about what happens in this situation. Hey, you might get picked up someday by the police, and they may try to manipulate you into turning against me or against Tony or whatever. Here's what you do. You don't say anything, and you call me, and I get you a lawyer, and blah, blah, blah. Obviously, the FBI is lying about putting Adriana in prison for drug distribution for 25 years. They've gotten absolutely nothing, and I'm pretty sure even on quantities to prove something like that, right? There is no case to be made that Adriana is a drug dealer. She's a drug user. She's been caught by by an FBI agent being a drug user. Fine. I don't feel like she has a huge criminal background that would indicate that she would spend significant amounts of time in jail, but of course she doesn't know that. She's believing what they say. And again, that comes down to Christopher not prepping her for this. Also, Christopher not questioning her new friend she made at the mall. He obviously hasn't been careful. Maybe it's the drugs that he's on himself, but he's been pretty careless here, particularly with in regards to Adriana. And also, I feel like the FBI wouldn't follow through on their threat with Adriana simply because it burns a route to get to Tony. In that, again, I mentioned we were watching The Wire, and for those of you who've watched it, every once in a while the powers that be that want a quick, easy way forward. Let's arrest everybody that anyone's watching, and we'll put drugs on the table, and blah blah blah, and they end up blowing the wire so that everyone kind of has to start over again, because when you do that, then the criminals realize they're being watched in this way, and they change up how they do things. I feel like if the FBI arrests and prosecutes Adriana, and Adriana tells Christopher this is what happened, all of a sudden you have no way. They will be so much more cautious. You would have no way of getting close to Christopher or Tony like that again. All you'd really be doing is letting them know this is a tactic that we use, so now you might want to never allow us to do it again. Also that they can get Adriana in prison. I don't buy that they would actually go through with it. It wouldn't work out for them. So come on, Christopher, help your girl out. All right, we're going to jump into and get started here. I want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers for being here with us, and give a special thank you to Actuary Lurker, Abolish Fuldez, Chris Kawanson, Derek Peterson, Jamie Morgan, Jeff, Christy Goverston, NJ, Sujugun Varapu, Turgir Linkstad, Weird Magic, and WearPanda47. If you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else that we've watched or we're watching, check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. All shows were at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we're on YouTube. You will have to sync and watch along on your own source material due to copyright law.
Oh, Massachusetts!
Oh my God, are we betting license plate states? Sister and I used to do that when we were kids.
Council Chairman Del Redclay, Professor of Cultural Anthropology.
Stop blowing your nose. I want to hear this.
Council members and supporters.
Columbus was Italian. This is going to make these guys mad.
To launch their protest, the Native Americans and their sympathizers plan to begin a death watch tomorrow.
20 years ago, we had a different feeling about Columbus Day.
They want to paint Columbus as a slave trader instead of an explorer.
You gotta admit, they did get massacred, the Indians.
It's not like we didn't give him a bunch of shit to make up for that.
Oh my God.
I won't mind sitting on my ass all day, smoking mushrooms and collecting government checks.
Oh, fellas.
You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is.
Is this...
Anti-Italian discrimination.
There it is. I figured that's where we were going.
It's our holiday, and they want to take it away.
Fuck them. But I never liked Columbus. A lot of people are not so happy for Columbus, because he was from Genova.
What's the problem with Genoa?
The north of Italy always have the money and the power.
Yeah, I've heard, not enough to speak intelligently about it, but the difference between northern and southern Italy.
I hate the north.
Jesus, take it easy.
I'm going to take action here.
Oh, no.
Ro, gonna go to the church luncheon tomorrow? It's on the subject of Italian-American women and pride.
So it's Columbus? Yeah, okay.
You should come, Adriana.
Me?
Yeah, come with us. Noon in the bingo room at St. Peter and Paul's.
Yeah, she's going through it.
Furio Junta just bought himself a little house in Nutley.
He is so gorgeous.
I'm surprised nobody snapped him up yet.
Oh, she is smitten.
Sandy Fortunato says it looks like a dick coming out of his head.
Well, she pretends to be his friend. What a two-face.
Oh, that's a good line there to cut to Adriana.
I hope your feelings weren't hurt too bad, and that it never got back to the missus.
Fuck you talking about?
Oh my God.
Never mind.
He's still pot stirring from prison.
So we ain't getting what we expected to begin.
Minimally expected.
Have Mazzarone hire more laborers off the books.
Nobody's talking to you.
Yeah, he's not going to be very happy with him.
You did it with inside knowledge from Ron Zellman.
Come to your attention from where?
That property's hot because of the Esplanade.
Is that Paulie too?
Okay, we'll work something out.
And Paulie's causing all kind of problems behind the scene.
I've been your doctor for 30 years. You still hate the thermometer. Okay.
Tony, Furio's here.
Ooh, Frio's got quite a shirt there.
Wouldn't it be great if the person you trust most was your broker?
Let's look at your current allocation.
At Schwab.
Okay, they're setting it up like he's flirting too, but I don't know if he is. It would be stupid of him.
Welcome back. We're here today with our guest, Dr. Del Redclay, who is a professor of anthropology at Rutgers University.
Oh, it's Montel.
Now, if you people want to make it an Italian pride parade, we have no problem with that.
I agree with that, actually.
Two simple people from Sicily who braved the perilous Middle Passage
to... Middle Passage?
Yeah, that's not what the Middle Passage is, man. Yeah.
Montel, the Italian people in this country also suffered discrimination.
Earth to fill. We're talking 300 years of slavery here.
Yeah, you can't throw Middle Passage around like that. That's rough.
You okay, Tony? You look a little moosh-a-moosh.
Uncle John's trial starts today.
Oh, okay.
And congratulations on that house. Oh, and I like the kitchen. Take a strudel.
Eat Furio's cookies.
Bring the telephone charges on your last bill.
Cost me $40 every time you pick up the phone. I can't.
Yeah, bad time on this.
$2,380 last month alone.
I'm going to give you some preliminary instructions.
Someone helped the man out with some money.
The first order of business.
Looking out at this audience of proud, strong, beautiful women.
Interesting edit cut between the trial and this.
And yet, America still sees us as pizza makers and Mama Leonis.
Is that true? I mean, I know I live in the Midwest and everyone's just kind of here, but those stereotypes I don't see, but I don't live on a coast. Maybe they're way worse, like on the East Coast.
If they say John Gotti, you tell them Rudolph Giuliani.
Oy, that one didn't age great.
74% of Americans associated Italian Americans with organized crime.
74%? That seems high.
Because of the way the media depict us. Again.
Oh, yeah, they're looking at the actual mob wives. Yeah.
Didn't I read about a more recent study at Fairleigh Dickinson that found the opposite was true? that the great majority of Americans recognize these are fictional portrayals.
I would think so. I would hope so.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I'm gonna cut him a new one.
Dad.
Got a mid-pastry.
How dare you let her suffer humiliation and embarrassment at the hands of an outsider?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, yeah, come on, man. Yeah.
I suggest you think about who really keeps this parish alive year after year.
Well, she wasn't lying. She tore him a new one.
A man in your cities is numb to the stench.
Mussolini was Hitler's bitch!
Oh, that was a good line.
In the words of Chief Seattle, for the last...
Oh, no. This is going to get ugly.
Going to burn the way our ancestors did.
Go sit down, cupcake. We're not taking anything.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Hey, we will make arrests. The fuck is this, Joey? They get a permit, Sil. Everybody.
Yeah.
Come on, you two.
And here we go.
All right, we gotta go.
Yeah, this got out of hand. At least no one got hurt. Never mind. Yeah, Artie, you happy you're hanging out with the tough guys?
Get him out.
This was a bad idea all the way around. Yeah, now people are getting arrested. Artie's hiding in the car.
She can't do it? I'm stuck in traffic. Now I gotta go to the store.
She had to go get some crowns or something.
Had to get a crown.
Oh, God, that's terrible. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Is it the brawl at the...
Karen had an accident on Pompton Avenue. She's dead.
Oh, my God. Was that the accident that Bobby was, like, behind while he was talking to his son? Because that's messed up.
It was my idea.
The fuck? We got little Paulie and St. Barnabas. Plus we lost face down there.
This is something that hits home.
It was a bad idea all the way around.
Has your consigliere, since you ask, I think the guys, and myself too, we need your leadership on this.
That's what he should have done first rather than going down and trying to strong-arm people.
It's the First Amendment, and it's Native Americans. Very sensitive stuff. My hands are tied on this one.
Yeah, I don't know what you can do.
Which brings me back to my childhood, and my mother, and my father.
Now we're talking.
So she's seeing a therapist too. Interesting.
And where I was shamed and ridiculed for being artistic.
Is that what happened?
You have replaced your father with your brother as a figure of authority that you need to prove something to.
That might actually be true.
I wanted Sandy. I do. God give me the strength.
She will.
Del Red Clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do. Yeah, I saw you on Channel 20. No, don't get up. I'm Henry Caruso. I'm pleased to meet you.
Uh-oh.
Now, this lovely lady.
Maggie Donner, I'm Dell's TA.
Yes. Yes, I can see that.
Oh, my God, Ralphie, man. He's so creepy.
Well, if you come here to intimidate me, you don't know much about Indian resolve.
Dell, should I call security?
Is that from the littering ad? Yeah.
Part Cherokee, part Cree.
What?
Wasn't even a fucking Indian.
See, I've heard this before. I don't know if it's true or not.
Jesus Christ, is this true? This is a fucking disaster.
Chill out. You didn't know about this?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
My great something or other was a pony soldier. Well, actually, he was a violinist attached to 7th Cavalry.
I think he's hooking up with his TA.
And make them do whatever we want. That doesn't sound like a slave trader to you?
He was.
It's in my history book.
So you finally read a book and it's bullshit.
He was a victim of his time.
Who cares? It's what he did.
He discovered America is what he did. He was a brave Italian explorer.
You can't discover a country that has an indigenous population.
I should have been with you. I should have been in your place.
That's pretty hard on himself.
Cross town, 68th Street.
These guys are always being inappropriate at funerals.
He was talking with somebody about how Bobby was the only one of them who doesn't have a Kamada. They were laughing at him. Who was he talking to on the phone?
Probably your husband.
I'm sorry I missed the Legless Nursing School graduation. Unforgivable. But I made it up to her.
Stick it in your ass.
Yeah, that joke is going to be a real problem.
What's this?
I have no fucking idea. But I got better shit to do.
You just left the money on the ground?
Plus, I don't know where Carmen's up my ass on this Freelandizing Avenue bullshit. Somebody's talking too much.
Yeah, it's Paulie for sure.
There's no release. I'm surrounded by death.
Yeah.
That's from not taking care of yourself. Dwelling on all this stuff.
It's not stuff.
Yeah, her kid's dead.
I'm having a lot of trouble dealing with this. I don't know.
You don't know what?
I don't think I can do this.
Oh my God, is he going to dump her right now while this is going on?
Need a lot right now. I don't think there's anything I can do.
You can be there for me. You can comfort me.
God, he sucks so much.
Doesn't have to be like this.
How should it be, huh? How the fuck should it be?
Am I a weirdo for wondering how he can prefer Janice to Ro?
Some Indians were deliberately given blankets, tainted with smallpox.
Yep, smallpox blankets, yep.
Christopher Columbus was no better than Adolf Hitler.
Hey, whoa. Back up.
Oh, Hitler, yeah.
They had him on TV, and he called Columbus Hitler.
Because it's true, man.
They're talking out of your ass.
Oh, that's the Holocaust thing, yep.
If you got that kind of covert anti-Semitism, I'd like you to leave my house.
Anti-Semitism?
That's right.
Fuck you too, my man!
I'll call Marty up in Connecticut. He knows a big mohawk.
Oh my God, so that's going to push him into taking action?
Don't argue, okay? Listen to your Aunt Grace and Aunt Mary. Do what they say.
These poor kids.
It was my birthday dinner at Roman Gardens. I'll never forget. She said I look like Pablo Picasso.
I mean, really?
I don't want to disturb him when he's asleep. He's an old man, for God's sake.
Yeah. Get a different ride, man.
What the fuck are you doing?
Oh my God.
I told her I didn't want to be with her anymore. And I left.
Oh, right after she had her spiritual awakening.
Now I can devote myself to you completely. Now?
This is a great scene. Look at her.
Just sexy.
Yeah.
You know what I want.
Yeah, you want it all, don't you?
Look at her face.
There he is. What'd I say? Right on cue.
Chief! Oh, where? Behind the perfect eye.
So, Chief, he told you about the shit going down in Newark?
Small element. Ruins it for the rest of us. I've got a $250 million casino and a huge...
Oh, this is definitely their guy.
Until I had a racial awakening and discovered my Mohawk blood, my grandmother on my father's side, her mother was a quarter Mohawk.
Oh, so he's barely Native American.
Mohawk, you love Columbus.
Okay, so this guy's kind of a fraud.
Food. Like that solves all the world's problems.
Bobby, we've been neighbors. I know that we don't talk much, but if you want to, I'm here for you.
I think he wants to talk to her. Has nobody offered to just listen to the poor guy?
And my son called because Karen wanted me to pick up steaks and eggplants. And I was mad at her for sending me. I was tired.
Oh.
I was mad at her. But I was stuck in traffic because of her accident.
Yeah, that sucks.
She was up the road ahead of me, lying in twisted metal. But I didn't know, and I could have been with her. Oh, my sweet Karen. My sweet girl.
That kind of guilt sucks a lot, but it really is not on him.
Oh, yeah. Just a second. Tom, it's the Indian chief.
Did he pull it off or no?
You ask him about ionized Cody?
He didn't give a shit. It was some internet rumor. And most Native Americans, they don't give a flying fuck. It's like knowing James Caan is an Italian.
Yeah, I get that.
Said Ralphie had it all fucked up. That don't mean nothing anyway, because it's like knowing James Caan is an Italian.
Did Sil not know that James Caan was an Italian?
I think it's over, Sil.
Yeah,
but I get it. It's over.
Yeah, you did what you could do.
Somehow I have to find a way to move away from the darkness and toward the light.
What does this man do?
He works with my brother, but he's not like the others.
He is.
And level with him. Speak the truth, Jan. But with the compassion and respect that you're famous for. And say goodbye. For his sake, as well as yours.
Well, this is a therapist that does a lot more guiding in terms of, like, what you need to do with your life than Dr. Melfi does. Maybe this isn't a therapist. Maybe this is a life coach.
Tony, can we talk a minute? Buy you a drink?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so he's here for a pitch.
Statement's up in my bedroom.
Oh, that's okay. I trust you. Oh, wait. It's at 5 o'clock.
Okay, we haven't seen this guy in a long time.
Get out of here! This is our day! You hear that? He fed our people to his dog!
You know what? I think Tony was right to keep everyone away from this. It was going to happen anyway. Honestly, Ralphie's nuts. I'd be scared to tell him. He's bringing a suitcase. Keep control, Ralphie. You've beaten a woman to death before.
Forgot. Sorry, hon.
You forgot. So
This
that's
is not-
just it. You fucking forgot!
This is the respectful thing that she said she needed to talk to him with?
Get out! Get out!
Yeah. Okay. Sit him down and have a nice, respectful conversation.
Get out!
Okay, I was starting to give Janice a little credit, and I shouldn't have.
I should have been there.
Why? So you can be in jail?
I would have been fucking there. I forgot this was a Monday. Fucking Chief Smith wants Frankie Valli to come up there and play a week. That's what this whole fucking junket was about.
Yeah.
I ain't seen Frankie for years.
Tough shit! You're making a fucking call!
Do this fucking parade already.
That's the whole reason they were there, is because of him, yeah.
They discriminate against all Italians as a group when they disallow Columbus.
Oh, will you fucking stop? Group. What the fuck happened to Gary Cooper? That's what I'd like to know.
Oh, this is back to season 1, the Gary Cooper thing.
Oh, you mean because he fought the Sioux in all those westerns?
Oh, fuck that.
Because he kept his feelings to himself, yeah.
You got a smart kid like I want to college. You got a wife who's a piece of ass. At least she was when you married her.
Oh, my God.
We can't call our teams the Braves or the Tomahawks.
Oh, you take it up with Frankie Valli when you talk to him.
That was a great episode. Well, Tony really kind of came around on his victimhood there, didn't he? Yeah, I know historically the Italian Americans have been discriminated against, but this isn't the first time they talked about it on the show, something that still happens, and I need to look more into that. Because like I said, I don't see it, largely probably because of where I live, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. I've never thought the stereotypes of Italian Americans in the mob are realistic depictions of the group as a whole, any more than anything else. Individuals versus entire groups. Anytime you start talking about all this group is this, you've wandered way into stereotypes pretty much 100% of the time. Janice and Ralphie, I really thought Janice was making some strides, especially after talking to poor Bobby. I really felt like she was like assessing herself well there and taking some positive steps, and she was given advice by either a therapist who's very willing to just give advice, or by a life coach. We never really established what her role was, if she's actually a professional or not. But all the credit I gave Janice kind of went away. I thought she was going to talk to Ralphie and things might not go her way because Ralphie's a hothead. Boy, I had that pegged wrong. Speaking of pegging, just kidding. But Janice just kind of flying off the handle and attacking Ralphie is like, nope, there's our old Janice, completely living on impulse, and not really thinking things through. This idea that, she's the lady, whatever, we'll call her therapist, telling her, talking about the respect that she's known for. I mean, come on. There was some gaslighting going on there. I don't know where we go from there on that. The reason I brought it up, does Ralphie seek some kind of retribution? I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, we've seen him treat women about as horribly as you can treat them on this show. He's killed one for talking back to him, and she was pregnant with his child. So I don't know. I guess we'll see moving forward on that. I'm kind of curious how Junior's trial is going to go as well. I expect Junior to get off, but that doesn't mean he will. Junior can still be on the show from prison, as we're kind of seeing with Paulie, who is being a real fly in the ointment from jail himself. Ralphie may be inadvertently finding himself getting painted into a corner in his relationship with Janice that could blow up with Tony, and with Johnny and the whole joke about his wife. And I don't know what this is going to mean for Paulie moving forward if Tony figures out that he's the one who was causing so many headaches and so many problems from jail. And Sil and Tony's relationship still seems to be completely strained. So Tony's got with, I mean, God, now it's 3, right? We're 3 episodes into the season, and Tony has real problems with Paulie, with Sil, and with Ralphie. And I'm not really sure he's overly aware of the extent of all of them, or any of them, possibly. I think Sil's the most obvious one, because he's kind of right there with him and speaking his mind a little more. But he's definitely done some things to antagonize Tony, and this episode was no different. So I'm kind of curious to see, with all of these pillars of Tony's support system, professional support system, kind of crumbling a little bit, how that affects him moving forward. And we only got a brief glimpse of Dr. Melfi, and not really for her per se, than for, was it Robert, maybe? Her ex, who is obviously very involved in the Italian-American defamation stuff. His reaction to the brawl, and to him, I think he's right when he's saying this is a complete disaster, and it is. The fact that there ended up being a brawl is a disaster for the Italian Americans. It's never a great look to beat up protesters. I'll just leave it at that. Generally speaking, a bad idea. Somebody's protesting what you're doing. It is a First Amendment issue, and then let's fight instead. Now, the protesters wouldn't have permits. It sounds like that the main guy was arrested, but that still didn't make the images look any better. So I don't know what impact, if any, because this show doesn't always tie up every thread nicely, which I like about it, that we'll have moving forward with Dr. Melfi as well, kind of tied into that mix, and if that's any impact on Melfi's relationship with Tony. Love Tony's speech there at the end. Obviously, it was an oversimplification. It was a pull yourself up by your own bootstraps thing, but I don't think he was necessarily wrong in anything he said either, in that, Sil specifically, and again, he's talking about individualism. So there's different cases all along when it comes to individuals. That's kind of how anecdotes work. But he used Sil kind of anecdotally there, and all this oppression you're talking about didn't happen to you. Now that doesn't mean there aren't, as we know from other from other groups, there's not systemic oppression that still flows down from that. If there's still not suffering and legacy problems with it, there may well be. Again, I'm not familiar enough with discrimination against Italian Americans as certainly with other groups. Maybe Tony has a point in regards to that, and maybe he doesn't. I guess for the show, it doesn't really matter. What matters is he thinks he does, and we'll see how that impacts everybody moving forward, including his relationship with Sil. Talk to you later, guys. Thank you.